Snell's law derivation. Let us suppose there is a person at point A, and here the person is initially the person is on the shoreline. Unexpectedly, the person B jumps into the water, and that has seen by the person A. Person A needs to save the person B. So these are the different paths that the person A have. So this is A, C, B. This is one of the possible path. A, D, B is the another possible path, and straight path is A to B. Which path he needs to choose to save the person B? Which path he needs to take so that person A can save the person B? So based on this, we are going to derive the equation for Snell's law. Let's consider that these two are the normals, n1 and n2. Now here draw a normal from the AC line from the point D. This is going to be the normal, and here draw one more normal from the point C towards DB line, and this becomes as the another normal. And consider the points as this one is E and this one is F. Here one more thing is that the time taken from the E to C and the time taken from D to F both are same, but the thing is what, if he chooses the path A, C, B, so in that at the point of E to C he can save the time, and at a point of D to F he can lose the time, because he can run more distance on the land surface than the water surface. That is the reason why. So here consider that change in time interval t. Here it is delta t. Both time intervals are same, and here he travels with the speed of v1, and here he travels with the speed of v2. Now the distance traveled by the person from E to C is, we know that distance formula is speed into time. Based on that, here distance is nothing but EC. EC equals to speed into time means V1 into delta T. This is the equation number 1. Similarly, D to F length is distance equals to speed into delta T. Speed into delta T. Speed into delta T. Let's consider that this is equation number 2. Then from the equation number 1 and equation number 2, EC by df is equals to V1 by V2. Assume that it's an equation number 3. Now EDC seems to be like a right angle triangle, and DFC is also seems to be like a right angle triangle. Now actually this is what we call angle of incident, and this is what we call angle of refraction. Obviously this is also angle of refraction only, because here the angle of refraction and here the angle of refraction both are same, because D and C points are close to each other. If this is I, then what about this one? It should be 90 minus I, and this should be 90, and this is the I. Similarly, this is R, this should be 90 minus R, and it should be R. So now from the triangle EDC or DEC, whatever it is, from triangle EDC, from triangle EDC, we can find out the sin I value. Sin I value equals to S. Opposite side by hypotenuse. Opposite side is AC and hypotenuse is DC. And from the triangle DFC, we can find out sin R value. Sin R is equals to Sin r equals to opposite side by hypotenuse. That means df by dc. Consider this is an equation number 4 and it's an equation number 5. From equation number 4 and equation number 5, we can calculate sin I by sin r value. Sin I by sin r equals to, from these two equations, dc get cancelled out, then what we will get is ec by df. It's an equation number 6. Now we already know that from equation number 3, ec by df is nothing but v1 by v2. Now try to substitute that value. Sin I by sin r is equals to ec by df is nothing but from equation number 3, v1 by v2. v1 by v2. So v1 by v2 is nothing but what? v1 by v2 is nothing but, we already know that mu2 according to the relative refractive index, mu2 by mu1 is equals to v1 by v2. So v1 by v2 is nothing but, we can replace it as mu2 by mu1. So sin I by sin r equals to mu2 by mu1. This is what we are getting. By doing the cross multiplication, then what we will get is mu1 into sin I equals to mu2 into sin r. This is the Snell's law derivation. I think here it is not visible. Here itself I am writing that is same equation. Here mu1 into sin I equals to mu2 into sin r. This is the Snell's law derivation.